today we are going to the Rockwood Conservation Area. We get a lot of people that are asking us, what is it really about, with not a lot of content online. So we're gonna take you through so you guys can see exactly how we view the Rockwood Conservation Area. So we'll take you in the car, let's go. So the beauty of today, obviously, is that we don't have to go very far to go to the Rockwood Conservation Area. We get our seasons pass, okay? I know there's a lot of locals that jump right in, and some of them buy passes. For us, a big thing for us is that this gives us access to 3 conservation areas, so Guelph Lakes, Elora, and Rockwood, so it's kind of nice that way. But they don't get much provincial funding, so my wife and I and the whole family, we feel like getting the card, it's about $100 per season. Getting that card helps with money through the door. So they get all their funding from money through the door, and we think that that's important, and we're happy to get a season's pass every year in order to support them. When we go to the Rockwood Conservation Area, there's a few places to worry about. You've got your beach, you've got the mill, you've got the caves at the back, and then you've got your trails running through it. We just passed one section of the campsites. This portion here, we've got open to the park area. So a lot of campers and daily occupants have their lunch by the picnic tables, and then you've got your ball diamond over here, plus your kids' park as well. So there is a lot of variety here. You can do camping in terms of tents. You can have a trailer because they've got trailer hookups, which we're going to pass here. If you can see down over here, you guys will notice here that you've got hookups there for water and electrical. Right now we are going straight to the beach. This is the parking for the beach. So if you're going to go to the beach, you can't actually drive down to the beach. Okay, well you can, you just have no parking down there. The parking there up top, it's a little inconvenient, but it's nice that they've made it accessible for everybody. But for the sake of this visit here, we are going all the way down to the beach right now. Even though there's limited parking, we're gonna sneak out and see what we can do. So like I said before, trailer parking down here. As we go down the hill, authorized vehicles only. So there you go. So we're not allowed to actually head down there. Okay, so now we're actually gonna have to do this like normal people, and we're gonna have to walk down to the beach area, which really sucks. So right here is the beach. So this is spot number 1, where we have the pavilion. If you go around here, you got tons of picnic spots over here. This is the ice cream shop here. This one's by the pavilion, so anybody here that wants a cool treat during a hot summer day, it's a perfect little spot. Now they used to have a full snack bar right in here, but that's not open anymore. I don't know why, but it was a really cool spot because you could get fries and burgers and onion rings. But one of the cool things here is the pavilion. And here it is here. So you've got great views. That snack bar would have gone all the way through. Once again, it is not open. Here's the pavilion. So this is a great shaded spot for everybody to enjoy, lunchtime, etc. with all the kids. And you can see it out here. It's got great views. When you get underneath the pavilion, that's where the washrooms are. All right, they are not the greatest washrooms, okay, but they're not an outhouse either. The cool thing is that from the beach throughout the trail system, you can get to the mill, and then you can also get to the caves at the far end of the park. This is a 172-acre park, and the lake goes right through it, okay? And that river goes all the way into Guelph. It's the Eramosa River, okay? So if you want to look at the trail system here, you are right here. Here's the mill right here, and then there's the caves at the far end of the park. So right now we're here, and there's the cave. So we're at the other end of the park. You have the Pothole Trail, which is 1.3 kilometers. And then if you want to look here too, you got the Cedar Ridge Trail, which is 1.7 kilometers. And from there, we're going to be headed right to the lookout where you can see that. And then ultimately too, the Cedar Ridge Trail goes all the way around to the Woolen Mill. So you can actually get to the mill from both of those trail systems. When we look at an overview here, okay, we came in the main entrance. You have your mini putt, parking. We have Pine View, which is campsites. You have your showers and your washrooms. And all these are those picnic areas that we dotted out. And then of course we have campsites down here. All right, now these sites right here are all tent sites, as well as back here. And this is a cool area because this is the group area as well. So if you have, you know, a group, a family reunion, you guys can exclusively rent out this area too. But this whole area is full of wildlife. One of the treasures that we have here are potholes. Okay, and then here's the beach. You can see here the no lifeguard or beach patrol, so you guys have to swim at your own risk. It doesn't drop off. It's nice and weighed in sandy. You can see the waterfalls there as well. And if you head down there, you can meander down by the water. It's a perfect spot for crayfish, but there's little fishing holes throughout there as well, which is kind of neat. And like I said up top, even if you're here for an hour, if you're local or you're thinking about moving to Rockwood, even if you're from Guelph, just come down here, spend an hour here, you'd be shocked. You'd almost think you were up north in Muskoka, but you're not, okay? You're right here in Wellington County, right here in Rockwood. All right, now you have these islands here. Sometimes people swim over to them and climb up and explore, but I think that's what this park's about, is just exploring. One of the things you guys will notice about the park here is dotted throughout, you'll see ruins. One of the reasons why you guys are seeing ruins is because this used to actually be part of Rockwood and the village proper. So the Harris Woolen Mill, once that shut down, they donated this property to the Grand River Conservation Area, right? But some of these roads used to be part of municipal and township roads. So you're gonna see things like this here, right? Now these have obviously been, you know, reparged and maintained, but at one point in time, this was somebody's residence with gates here. So somebody would have actually lived here throughout the park. So now we're gonna take you guys to some of the camp spots, tent camping or pop-up trailer camping that's by the beach. Now, in my opinion, these ones are some of the premium lots because they're so damn close to the beach. And of course you have showers and washrooms right up here across to it. One of my favorite spots, okay, I'm gonna take you right down here. It's campsite 178, and you go all the way in here. Everybody's got their own picnic table. You've got your own spots to set up a tent, so you're not setting up your tent on all this bedrock that's around here. Like, there's a reason they called this place Rockwood, and you will know that from hanging out for a couple minutes in this park. One of the reasons I love this site is this right here. So you could camp, you've got your fire, and you've got the beautiful river that's running through it. And the big trend of this park are all these rock faces right here. Okay, they have certain areas here too, if you're camping here, like where they have like no noise zones, right? So if you do want something a little quieter, you do have these little pockets and offshoot from the main road. Yeah, you see these right on the road? I wouldn't necessarily like those. I think these campsites are, you know, they're open here to all the misfits that want to have way too much fun. Even if you're a local resident and you're walking around, like, these are cool places, even during season, to kind of walk around, see what's going on, say hi to people. They might even offer you a beer or two, who knows? This is one of the last camping spots before we head into the trails. This is where you would have your group camping, your family camping. The cool thing about all these spots is that they do find themselves around landmarks, around the rivers, so they are positioned really well. You have your beach, and then you have your trail system where you can go right out, and it is a quieter area, so I do kind of like that too. So, like, this is another one of those really cool features of the park, you know, of that day gone by. We have all these old bridges. This is either an old drainage pond. It does connect back with the main river, and they do regulate it here. So if anybody out there that knows exactly what this is for, write me a comment here, because I've always really loved this particular area. And it's almost like its own little canal here, and it's really survived the years. So take a peek down there. You know, as you guys know, I'm always about real estate. So when I look around this park, there's various areas where houses back onto this park, or they've had views of the park. This is just alongside Guelph line just before we go into the main Cedar Trail. But one of the best views from a property that I've always loved growing up is right up here. All right, and you have almost like a panabode viceroy type house that has this beautiful expansive view. It's raised up on the bedrock, and you see this lake, you see the beach, you see the rock faces and the trees. It's absolutely beautiful. It's one of probably my favorite views for a house that's right in Rockwood, because I think it really encapsulates what Rockwood is really all about. So one of the beautiful things about this park is we have all these little lookout points or vantage points, so you can really take in the scenery. And once again, I said it before and I'll say it 10 times throughout this video. You feel like you're up north in northern Ontario, but you're right here, little old Rockwood, Wellington County, and you're only 45 minutes from Pearson Airport. It's a real fantastic spot to spend an afternoon, and it's an even better spot to live right next to. So right now we're in the Cedar Ridge Trail. This is the trail that takes you on the south rim of the park all the way from the beach to the ruins. Okay, so that's where we're gonna go. Midway point, we're gonna stop off and show you the lookout. But this is a fantastic trail. You got all sorts of critters running around. It's nice and groomed. All right, you can walk your dog here. People run this park all the time. Local schools have their cross-country meets here. And this is a trail I would say probably one of the locals enjoy the most, right? Because you can do a full loop of this park, right? I'm not going to be running here, okay? So you won't see me running here, but it is a fantastic area if you're looking for some outdoor activities. Okay, so we're at the halfway point there on Cedar Ridge Trail. This is the crown jewel. This is where we get to see the lookout. We have artists painting this all the time, people shooting it, selfies, you name it. The only thing you can't do is jump off it, but it is a spectacular view. Years ago, we never had this bar here, okay? There's always a second shelf down here. So if you point the camera down, you can see that. And we would climb down to the second shelf, you know, little daredevils, and take a peek. But I'm shocked looking back on how dangerous that really was. Like, I mean, this is here for a great reason, but this is what you're here for in the Rockwood Conservation Area, right? You have the trees, the beautiful now they're changing color. You can see the topography as they climb up the gentle slopes. You can see the rock faces. Over here is where we were, the beach. Way over there is the beach right there. You can see right down here, people are kayaking, canoeing. When you guys are coming here, it is important, you know, you got to watch where you step to. Like if you're looking down here, there's quite a lot of vertical going on here. And I think that's important for everybody to keep in mind, especially if you have small kids. But this is a great resting point here. I'm going to take you to a place now that's closer to my heart, okay? And this is as, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kid. So let's go over here. Okay, so this here is the 40-footer. So this is evidence of days gone by in my generation here, because nobody comes here anymore. But this is what we would call the 40-foot cliff. All right, and it was a rite of passage for most young men in Rockwood at the time in the 90s. And I don't even know if it's 40 feet or not, but I mean, it sounds pretty damn good. Now, there's rumor out there that the conservation has filled this in, and that's why people don't jump. But I think they're probably just floating those rumors out there so people aren't scared. But never to say, this is off the beaten path. You wouldn't really know it if you weren't here with me. But this is what we used to jump off of when we were younger. You look at this community and you think, geez, you know, it's Rockwood, it's really small, there's nothing to do around here. But we always found something to do, right? Like there's still nothing to do around here, okay? Yes, there's more people, yes, there's more kids, right? We've got 3 schools now. When I was growing up, we had 1. But realistically, you're still very much, you know, riding your bikes, rollerblades, skateboards, swimming, you know, and running around. I mean, yes, you can stay in your house all day and play video games if you want, but the option is here for you. I am grateful for growing up you know, right here on this trail. And I think there's probably a lot of people out there that would be able to say the exact same thing as me, you know, whether they knew it or not. So like if you guys are out there and you're from Rockwood, you know, go back, all right, and just remember some of the stuff that we went through within this community, right? Like these trails weren't manicured at all. They were still roots and everything coming out. Now they've got gravel bases on them, right? And even if you look up here, okay, now we're starting to look at the Lewis Boulevard subdivision, which was a relatively new subdivision when I grew up, right? And we had friends, the Jagirs were just over here. We jumped the fence. We'd go from Lloyd Dyer Park all the way through and jump their fence. But if you look up here, guys, you can start to see some of the roof lines. Now, in my opinion, okay, and I can say my expert opinion, right, is those are some of the best lots in all of Rockwood, okay? And back on to the conservation area, so nobody's behind. They've got trails behind, you know, you're not allowed to, but, you know, you jump the fence and you're right in the park, okay? Pay for a pass, obviously, right? Support the community, support the conservation, but that's exactly what this place is all about. Now we're on the main trail right now. On the maps, it'll just continue this as the Cedar Trail, but this is, you know, the cave head or Park's End, like that's what we would call it, okay? Head to the cave, and that's what we would, you know, resonate with. So you call it whatever the heck you want, but I'm calling it the Cave Trail. Now right here at this junction, it's really neat. So you've got the mill over here, and then the mill trail heading back to the beach area, right? Which is a really cool trail on the north side of the river. But right here, you can take the Cave Trail all the way to the back of the conservation. You'll know you hit back there because they've got this big, huge cave and this fence, okay? A fence is a good indication that the park is done, okay? Now, in here, okay, we're gonna be here to take a look at the falls. Now, this is another swimming hole that we used to have, all right? People don't swim in it anymore. There is a railing up again to take away all the fun. This is the back half of the Eramosa River coming into the park. This is the old dam. If you look closely here, you can see the slots where they'd put the wood to make the water rise, okay? Then it would come down this waterfall here. There's two waterfalls that split. These were not here, okay? These are not old. They're meant to look old, but they're not. This is what we would call the falls, all right? It's actually split to two separate falls, but you really mostly just pay attention to the first one here. We used to jump in here as well. Now this was your beginner cliff jump. The 40-footer was for experts, intermediates, however you want to call it, and this is for the novices. You know, you would jump here, it's not very deep, but you jump close to where the falls are coming down. Over the years, they've created a bit of a divot in there, or a hole. And if you wanted to be a little ballsy, you'd go up here, you'd cross the river, and you'd go up on this ledge and jump down. The cool thing about this area is after you've jumped a couple times, you can swim down and around here. And you can see it right here, there's an underwater passage from one section of the falls to the other. You can see the light coming through. So if you go underneath, you can go right to the second set of falls. I mean, it was great. Of course, you were not allowed to cliff jump even when we were younger. So if we did and we ever got caught, or the cons guards pulled up in their truck or the John Deere Gator, we would scatter. All right, and then we'd always have a meeting point, and we would always feel a real badass. So now we're heading back from the falls to the back of the conservation area, or the caves, which everybody calls them. The beautiful thing about this trail is this is the portion of the conservation that narrows down to the river, right? So we have the river walking along the north side of the path, right? And it's real beautiful. You have these great rock faces that are coming right at you, all sorts of different colors, right? We've got little bridges, we've got ruins, and it's a spectacular spot. All the way back here, you have the trees, the sun peeking through, and then in other areas, you're in the shade again, okay? And that's the beauty of this park. So let's keep going all the way back. Okay, so now we're finally here at the caves at the back. It's really cool because it's nice big open space at the back. You know, you can actually, if you're small enough, you can get in there and do a quick loop around. but you'll notice there's two little caves on either side, and the rocks have kind of chipped away so you can get access from one to the other. And the cool thing about this back portion or the tail end of the conservation is you have a little fishing hole just down over here, and you will see a lot of locals put their rods in the water there and pull out some fish. But I've seen people coming from Kitchener and all over to go fishing there. So it's a beautiful little fishing hole at the end of the conservation before you start heading back. We're coming back out on the main road. We're actually gonna, this is closer to the mill because you can see it right over here. Over here you'll see a lot of plaques from Gilbert McIntyre, and people who have passed away have their name in there, which is really nice. But one of the things we want you guys to see is right over here. So we have a date right here of 1923 for this bridge. And then if you guys turn the other way, this is where we were looking down by where those cliffs are, and it comes all the way into here. So people will kayak all the way out here. So you guys will see 1867 right here. Okay, apparently it was built, it's an older building, that was just that section of it. But you'll see right now it is fully fenced off. I don't really know the full reason why it's fenced off. Some people say it's because, the rocks are loose at the top. Some people say it's because there's mold up there. But it's a real damn shame that we haven't, it's been years. It's been years since this was closed off. And it's a shame because this is a real special part of the conservation and a lot of the reasons why we're here today because of this mill. So years ago, obviously they went out of business and it became vacant, and then some kids came in and set fire to this, and hence you have the ruins. Someone will call it the ruins, some people call it the mill. We used to come down here when we were younger, and our parents used to do an Easter egg hunt for Easter in this mill. To put the eggs on the little ledges, the kids would all run around, the parents would drink champagne and orange juice, and it was a real good feel. Now you can't even walk in here, but this place is known to have weddings, okay, when the GRCA will finally open it up. Okay, you can tell I'm pissed off. I love this building. So now we're here just out in front of the mill. Of course, you're going to notice birds and geese all over this park, all right? Normally people hate Canada geese, but it is a beautiful setting. I love the setting behind me too because you have the trees, the water cutting through. It's a beautiful little canyon type feeling, and there's a lot of those little spots in here, and people will kayak all the way down through it. So it could be, out of a movie, like Legends of the Fall or something like that. And that's the beauty of this whole park if you're paying attention. But let's go here. We're going to go to the Pothole Trail right now, and then we're going to head back to the beach area where the car is. So one of the reasons they obviously call it the Pothole Trail is because there's the potholes, right, formed by the glacier. And they've really built this with all the scenery in mind. You've got the bridge coming through, you've got the rocks, you've got the potholes, like right down here. This is a giant pothole. As you walk down, it always opens up to this beautiful scenery. So when you head past the potholes, you're going to be greeted with these beautiful manicured trails. One thing to note, we do have Indigenous pictographs on the caves. They might be a little hard to see, but it's on the north side of the lake facing south. And that's the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations, and this was their traditional territory. And we don't have much on that when we look online, but there is evidence of that with the pictographs and the caves as well. And it's really like some of those spots that have just absolute beautiful settings. We already mentioned caves, and there's a ton of them dotted throughout. This one here is on the Pothole Trail. It's between the mill and the beach. And years ago, my dad would take us as kids to this cave. Now, it wasn't as populated, there wasn't many people walking around, but he would take his old cast iron frying pan. That was always in the wintertime because you wouldn't have the people coming by. And we would have a fire right here, right? He would prepare all the bacon, eggs, and toast there, and we would do bacon and egg sandwiches all huddled around in here under a little fire. So you know, right now you might not think that that's the coolest thing in the world, but as a little kid, you know, sitting down here eating, you know, you're toasting your toast with the bacon grease in the cast iron frying pan, and it was just cool as shit. It really was. Okay, so now we are out. We have done the whole conservation from front to back, and now we're back at the beach again. So we are going to head up to the car, and then that should give you guys a pretty good idea of my Rockwood conservation and what I think, but I'm really curious on what you guys think. So we're back in the car, we're heading to the main gates. We are going to take a Roger, and we were going to turn, so the front gates are right over here. They have the mini putt, okay, which is very cool. A lot of locals do not take advantage of the mini putt because they think it's just for the campers. It's a great spot. So now we are heading out, and that concludes the service for today. If anybody's thinking about moving to Rockwood and they want to know why, this is a great video for someone to really know why Rockwood cares so much about the conservation area. It's because of this. And you know, this is fall, right? Springtime, summertime, wintertime. You can enjoy it all year round. If you want to move to Rockwood, give us a call. We'd be happy to show you around. It all starts with this video right here, which is why we're filming this video, all right? We're filming this video for Sarah so she can determine whether or not she wants to bring her family here, and the benefit for you is that you can determine from this video if you think it's the right spot too.